Okay, let's let's try that again and let's see how it goes. Yeah, just going to continue our tour through Dota. Last time, I believe we played with, if it was Alchemist. So now we are going to play with Ancient Apparition. So, Ancient Apparition, a pretty straightforward hero. More a support type hero, but can be played by very skilled players in mid lane. Can be a very strong hero overall. We take a look at his abilities. He has Cold Feet, which places a hex on the enemy unit that deals damage over time, but it can be dispelled by moving away from the initial cast point. So this forces them to move. If they don't move outside the range, they will be stunned and frozen in place after 4 seconds. So the really good thing about this is if you get a stun and you follow up with Cold Feet, you can actually stun lock them quite easily because a lot of the duration will be taken up by the actual like stun itself. It also procs afterwards, so if you place it and then get them to be stunned, it's actually really good. You get Ice Vortex as well, which creates a vortex of icy energy that slows and increases magic damage done to enemies in its range. So this increases, it's like a Mystic Fail. So it's an amplifier for magic-based teams. Ancient Apparition pairs really well with other magic heroes because of it, and it can amplify his own abilities as well. Then you get Chilling Touch, which basically just is a harass-based move in early game. It's also a very good slow, gives him increased range, and it's just a very nice way for him to also secure some last hits as well. And then you get Icy Blast. This is the main ability of Ancient Apparition. So essentially you will fire an initial blast. Once that blast is where you need it to go, you can activate it, and then another attack, which will be the actual attack, will occur shortly afterwards. The further it travels, the bigger the actual size of it will be. The most important thing about this is that it actually prevents healing. So it actually prevents units from healing, and if their health drops below a certain percentage, they will actually shatter immediately. So if they fall below 14%, they will actually just straight up die. It's it's basically a very powerful spell, especially in team fights. It'll definitely be something pretty useful overall, so it could be something pretty cool. In terms of like utility build and everything like that, generally speaking, for Ancient Apparition, it is probably best to run him as a support if you are a new player. If you are a more experienced player, or you're very skilled, you could definitely run him as a carry or a mid laner. He's a very good hero, brings a lot of damage to the table if you build him correctly. His talent tree kind of got two ways to go about it. You can go for the more utility-based ones with slow resistance, vortex cooldowns, spell amplifications, and that, or you can go for a more damage-based route. His shard is very good, which allows him to clear waves, which is very powerful in the mid game. And then Chilling Touch is his now Ag Scepter, which just removes the cooldown and reduces the mana cost by 50%, which basically lets you have a permanent Chilling Touch. This is actually kind of the go-to core build. If you build them with a whole bunch of attack speed, you can actually get pretty nutty. So yeah, that's kind of it in terms of good old Ancient Apparition. As you can see, he's mainly a support, nuker, disabler. Stack gain, lots of intel. Not a lot of defense, very slow early game. And of course, not a lot of stat gain really overall. Starts pretty low on health, pretty low on mana, but gains a lot of intel over time. So yeah, that is going to be Ancient Apparition. And then we will just try a game with him, see how it goes. It shouldn't be too bad. We'll just have to see how it goes. Yeah, like I said, shouldn't be too bad, but haven't played an Ancient Apparition in a while actually, so could be interesting. Not as bad as my not as bad as my Aberdeen game, even though we won that one. More so carried by the team. But yeah, no, definitely a pretty good hero. He's a nice hero for new players to play. Very simple hero. Not one you can kind of screw up. As long as you hit your ult in team fights, you should be fine to play this hero. I'm going to miss every ult now that I have said that, because that is exactly how it works. And yeah, but like I say, you shouldn't really have big problems. Like, you shouldn't. You can, but you shouldn't. He is a pretty straightforward kind of hero to play, and shouldn't really give you too many issues. I think one thing that's very important with him is that you need to understand the cold feet mechanic. So you need to place it when you have the ability to chase. It forces the unit to move. So try and force them to move in situations that suit you. And also obviously try and hit them with Chilling Touch either before or directly afterwards, because that will slow them, which will keep them from hitting the break distance point. Ideally you want to use it coming around the side. This will force them to be unable to run into your carry, and then forces them to kind of have to run into you, which is a pretty good situation. So yeah, that's basically it. Nothing really too much else to say. We're gonna give it a go here, see how we go, and see how it turns out with Ancient Apparition. But yeah, it's a support here, so we want to generally go middle top lane. We want to tell our team that we're playing a support, and yeah, we just want to be able to kind of control whatever lane we're going to be in. Ancient Apparition's good as to link up with a stun-based hero. Like I said, it will allow you to have the ability to get some early kills. If you do not go for a stun-based hero, then you can kind of be a little bit lost as a hero overall, but you should still be fine. The only thing is, with Ancient Apparitions, should the enemy team get aggressive on your carry, then you can struggle a little bit early game in protecting them. You're much better off as the aggressor than as the I would say as the defendee. So yeah, definitely a very, very cool hero to play, and something quite interesting to try out. Like I said, ideally you want to play him with someone with a stun. Don't know if we're going to get that here. Our team doesn't have a stun yet. We have Rubik, but he's our fellow support. You're generally going to be the position 5, which means you're going to be the guy that spends all this gold on wards. Spirit Breaker would actually be a very good, or a decent pairing partner for us. Our ability to slow enemy heroes, our ability to kind of provide amplification to magic damage could pair well. We're gonna get a Juggernaut instead, so it's an okay pairing because Juggernaut has his slash. So Juggernaut slash here is magical damage, which will pair well to some extent with our slow, and then also if we do Chilling Touch, or sorry, Cold Feet on him, we could actually have a chase down situation, because as long as Juggernaut moves faster than they do, his spin will keep him moving faster than they are. Actually be pretty good damage. What we're going to do is we're going to actually get Cold Feet, and then we're going to immediately get Chilling Touch, and hopefully that will allow us to have quite a sizable amount of slow, and then we should be able to hopefully chase someone down by level 2. And that'll be the ideal situation. It's saying here to get Chilling Touch, which is the best way to go. I use Immortal Faith just as a standard guide, but generally speaking, you want to kind of be off guides eventually. You do need to kind of accept that you need to be away from guides at some point, But I find Immortal Faith to be pretty solid when it comes to guides in general, at least if I'm concerned about what I'm doing or anything like that. So yeah, when you're placing wards, especially on this lane, you can generally play it safe and place a ward here if you want to. That will give you vision of people coming through the jungle, like Jakira and Primal Beast, who are probably going to kill me now. And that's okay. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Very little we can do there. We are very slow in the beginning game, and so we can, yeah, it is one of those things. But it's not too much of a concern. We'll come back and we'll be more than fine. Early game first blood's not the best situation to happen, but it isn't the end of the world either. We should be more than fine. Juggernaut can spin on Ruin and pick it up, which is good. And so it's not the absolute end of the world. We got 3 ruins, which basically cancels out the first blood. Although they did get a second kill, which isn't necessarily the best. We are going to ward here, just in case they've placed wards. Ideally, you can, like I said, place for vision here, which is okay. Or what you can do is you can place in the river. So you can place wards in the actual river, around about here on their side to be a bit more aggressive. And that will let you kind of just get the vision that you want on the enemy heroes. Here we're not too concerned about anyone. Primal Beast is a little bit annoying. Jakira can also be annoying. We have to be very careful of the trample, as we saw there. Getting trampled was not ideal, so we do need to be careful of that, but we want to push for our boots as quickly as possible. Boots are going to help us out the most. The slow is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. The early game damage is not lots, so we can trade still quite well. We have decent damage as Ancient Apparition, and so we're not too concerned. Once we hit level 2, we can get Cold Feet and trade out a bit of Harass, which would be nice. Every time he hits us instead of the Juggernaut is an okay situation, because we actually got a decent amount of regen. 3 health per second will heal the health up quite a bit. We're not standing in lane. We got Cold Feet on him, which is fine. He is now stunned. So Juggernaut got the kill, that's okay. That's not too bad. Juggernaut getting the kill is always good. We'll buy him a salve, and then we'll TP in and we'll feed it to him, and then he should be good. We don't want to feed it to him now because he'll just lose it. So he's regenerating up fine, so we'll just keep it for now. Again, we're not too concerned. We're gonna keep chipping away at him. We're gonna keep chipping away at him. He's gonna keep getting frozen. He's gonna keep giving the Juggernaut. Oh, no, never mind. Juggernaut's not gonna get the kill. Okay, that's okay. Chigura's gonna get stunned now. And this is an okay trade-off. So, it's not too bad. It was not the greatest situation, but with Juggernaut getting kills, we've recovered it a little bit, and we can heal him up ourselves, and we're okay. So yeah, it's an okay situation here. We're gonna go pick up bounty, and we're gonna probably try and come back and pull the stack, or pull our creep wave a little bit. Jakira is trying to harass us, which is fine. We have boots coming on the way, so now we'll have some decent speed. Jakira is just checking that we're not pulling creep waves, and then we're just going to go help out our Juggernaut. We'll try and pull the next creep wave. It's very you want to try and get boots as quickly as possible, but securing Juggernaut farm is also very important. Just keep chipping away at them. We've got another cell for Juggernaut. We don't want him to use up his mana. We might be very careful. We're getting good chip damage. We're managing to harass them a lot, which is good. Primal Beast is getting very low. I'm gonna pause here because our teammate is out of action. We're just gonna say yes. We don't know them, but this is a foolproof strategy. Because if we pretend to know them, then we will not have people restart the game. See, we didn't know them, but it's working. So, there we go. Easy peasy. Okay. There we go. Very, 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 very relaxed. So now we can use this time. We're going to eat a tango. The magic damage was very high, very good. Pairs very well with the Juggernaut. We're going to pick up 2 of these, and then we're almost at our boots. Again, we don't have stuns. We don't have many stuns. We're keeping our Mango just in case. We're gonna pop him a little treat there, and then we're gonna eat one ourselves. We're not gonna be able to make this camp. What we are gonna get is a sentry though. We're gonna place it down here. We know they have a ward there. We're gonna get that ward money, and then we're very close to having our boots, which is good. Boots by 10 minutes is nice. It's not bad at all. Juggernaut's getting some really nice farm. Jakiro is very slow. Primal Beast has a lot of health, unfortunately, which is the only real shame. But we are going to pick up the ruin now, and then we are only 6 gold away. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to pick up our boots first, and then that way we have everything we need to be able to kind of like, yeah, get our mana going, and then we can kind of keep moving on, basically. Like I say, we have good early game magic damage. The Jug's magic damage is very good. We did lose a couple, early on, but it's not the absolute end of the world. So we're like more than okay. Again, now we've got mana boots. This is good. We can give the Juggernaut mana, which is great. We're gonna come swoop back around here as we're in mana range. Just gonna get out, which is a shame. We could have started with LT possibly, which we still can. But what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna pick up this rune, eat one of our tangos, and then we're gonna pick up this rune, and then we will come back and cause their lane some problems. Just gonna check the ward spots. If you do not know how to ward, just ward spots. It is genuinely just okay. It's not the greatest situation, but it's okay. So yeah, frostbite damage is only 12.5 per second. So just firing it at Primal Beast isn't going to be able to kill him, unfortunately. But we've got him now. And that's okay. Juggernaut could go for Jakiro, maybe, but it's not really the absolute end of the world. So it's okay. Like, this is fine. Trading ourselves for Primal Beast is maybe not the most ideal situation, but it's not necessarily a bad situation. We're still trading quite well. If you're buying a stick, by the way, buy your 2 branches first for the extra health and stats, and then we'll be more than fine. We're just gonna come back, give our Juggernaut some help, slow them down, really irritate them. That's our goal now. Ah, they were hiding in the trees. That's okay. It's not really the end of the world here. To have 3 heroes kind of facing us. We do have ulti, which means we can kind of help push back the lane if needed from a distance, but every minute that Juggernaut stays alive is realistically the best kind of answer to any situation when you're a support. Like, as long as you're keeping people alive, it's not really the absolute end of the world. So yeah, it's all okay. Juggernaut gets the solo kill, which is great. We're gonna fire our ulti. Which is fine. And we've managed to protect the lane, which is also okay. Juggernaut needs to be very careful. He was not, and so he is going to die, which is not ideal. So that's a bad net result for us. Unfortunately, Juggernaut dying is not really something we could plan, I want to say. Like, he was relatively safe, and then he kind of just died, which isn't great, but it isn't the end of the world. take this ward. And then we're going to need to ward up our jungle so we can maintain our farm here. That's a bit of a fail by us. I could have aimed that much better, would have definitely killed him, but it's okay. Not really, we should have actually killed him there. But again, it's not the absolute end of the world. It's a very low cooldown move, so you don't want to kind of like, you don't want to not use it, if that's the best way to put it. You want to definitely use it as much as you can. There's no real need to not use it. So we're going to use this opportunity to get some last hits and some farm. Make sure that we can keep our level up. Generally speaking, that's what we want to do, but you also want to keep your eye out on the map. Try not to lose track of any fights, because we can be there with quite a good amount of global presence. So yeah, 100%. We can definitely, yeah, sort of do our best, but we'll be okay. Like being behind is not the absolute end of the world, so it's not really too much of an issue. Our main concern is if our carries are behind, and right now they're doing okay. We are 11 to 14, but 6 of those deaths have been ours, so that's not too bad. We do need to just keep protecting our Juggernaut. That's our general assignment, I want to say. Protecting Juggernaut and making sure that he's safe. Very, very good overall. And it's okay. You won't be and that's very good trade-off. So there we got 2 kills, very nice, very good. Managed to keep our cause alive, which is good. Juggernaut's only died once this match, yeah, so Juggernaut is getting very good farm. Now our goal is to kind of just go around the map, causing a bit of havoc where we can go. Arcane Ring is nice this game, we need a little bit of armor. We only have 5, so getting a little bit more armor is not the absolute end of the world. Undying is up top there, so we are just going to kind of throw out the ulti completely with it, and then we're going to come back. We're very fast, but maybe not fast enough. That's okay. Again, us dying, not really the absolute end of the world. Very kind of dodge play there, but it's okay. But this side, just need to keep kind of pressurizing where we can, doing what we can, spreading ourselves around the map, using our ult to protect and end heroes, just doing what we can. As you can kind of see here, this is a very good time to, you want to aim it just behind here, like this. And then now Lina is hit by it, which is very, very good. We're going to TP right in, which is great. Get the spell amp. Really just try and pressurize lanes. Again, Juggernaut's having a pretty good game. Level 13, 8 for 1, very, very nice, very solid. So we're not too concerned about our personal score here. We sat him very well. Gave him a lot of room, a lot of space to farm, which is very, very good. Again, just kind of, as any support, as long as you can facilitate your carries and not overtly feed too much, it's not really too bad. That's the main goal. Gonna just slow him up here. This is where our team's not good. We're now out. Our team's lost a lot of its strength, which isn't great. They are going to manage to kill Primal Beast, it seems, but yeah. Death Prophet. Oh, she got the kill. To be entirely fair, this has actually turned out to be pretty good for us, weirdly enough. As long as Lina doesn't come in and clean up, but I doubt she will. So that turned out to be okay, actually. Weirdly enough, our team did pretty well there, so we're very happy with that. We're going to take the Essence Ring now over the Arcane Ring. So Arcane Ring obviously is an AoE, but the Life Essence is going to be very helpful. The Life Essence could be a big difference between whether we live or die, which is obviously very, very helpful overall, just in general. So yeah, we also just want to ward up here. A lot of commonly placed wards are always down here. People always trying to kind of give us issues. We're going to try and help the Weaver, which we can do for sure if he doesn't miss his Sakuchi. And she's hit with our Arcane Blast, so she's dead, which is very good. He's also been hit now, so we can keep pushing on here. We want to take out this as quickly as possible. So then the zombies are all dead. Now we can just kind of push through. Very good. Now we're starting to really feel the power. Just didn't have enough vision there, which is a little bit of a shame. But now we can finish up our Glimmer Cape, which is a very, very good support item. The reason Glimmer Cape is so good is because not only does it provide magic resistance, but it also provides invisibility. So if our carry is running away, we can actually give him magic resistance and invisibility, which will reduce any magic damage that is currently ailing him, and will also give him a lot of utility ways to get out of there. What you can do is you can also pop things like Ice Vortex to kind of scout areas. It's pretty good ability, like just in general. So it's a very good way to get vision and just cause issues, basically. And with Glimmer Cape now we have a lot of good escape, just in general. So yeah, we didn't need to throw out ult, but again, we have a 45-second cooldown on our ulti. Generally speaking, we just want to use it as much as possible. It's a very, very good ability. That's got a low cooldown, so not using it is kind of a waste, to be honest. This is where Glimmer Cape is nice. We can put it on Jug, and it should get him out of there just in case there's any follow-up from the PA, which is very, very nice. So far so good, very good. Our score is looking a lot better, 2 for 8 for 15. It's not always about score though. Score actually doesn't really matter at all, to be completely honest with you. Well, it does, but it doesn't. Like, you can have bad scores that are misleading, whereas very often you can have good scores that are also misleading. So I would generally say that having a bad score is not a bad sign, but having a good score and being behind is not good. So they are warding up top here now. We have seen them ward, so it's really not too much of an issue. We're going to use this to get down to the bottom.
Feed the flames.
There we go. You've managed to look all the way here. We're going to ward up here, give us some nice vision. And now this area is pretty safe for us. Now they don't know that we can see here, or they can suspect we can see here. It doesn't really matter too much. And we hit both of them with the ulti, which is very, very nice. We're going to slow everyone down, and it's a very, very good situation for us. They also have theirs out, which is obviously something we need to be careful of. We're going to use our there we go. So we need to hit the going to there we go. Ideally you always want to try and hit the oh and he's dead. Oh. Oh, we got LT. That's okay. It is what it is. Not too concerned about it. So they got a lot of buybacks there. We do have an upper hand overall. The team's net worth should be in a pretty good position, and we are pretty close to a nice lead. It would have been nice if we had done a bit of a turnaround there, but again, it's not the absolute end of the world. Could have been worse, could have been better. Overall, decent team play. Primal Beast brought back, we managed to kill him, which is very good. It's always good when you kill people after buyback. Not only does it reset their buyback, but they lose a lot of net worth, which is very, very good. Overall, we're going to get the Agnum Shard now. If you are feeling like you are behind in the game, skipping this for 4-staff is not such a bad call. 4-staff does give you a lot more mobility than, say, something like a the shard gives you. The shard, yeah, it gives you damage and the ability to push lanes, but it doesn't really give you nice kind of cohesion in terms of just being able to. Now we know they can see us here because we know that they warded here. There we go. So again, we're just going to zone out here. Instead of fighting under his tombstone, we're going to just rather book out. And then we're going to reset resetting is probably the best way to go about it. Because then he doesn't have Tombstone up. Now, Tombstone is a very good ability when you're fighting in a huddle, because it spawns a zombie for every surrounding unit, and the zombies can cause a lot of damage and a lot of havoc, so it is ideal. We are dead, but it's okay. Their team should be pretty dead. Hopefully we get all the kills here. PA is a problem, but she shouldn't be a big issue considering the amount of magic damage our team has. That's a very decent playoff here. We also, Juggernaut does have a Monkey King bar now, so to be honest, he's power spiked quite severely to counter that play from the PA. So we've built nicely, teams built nicely, overall decent performance from us. But this kind of shows, like, if you look at our items, I mean, realistically speaking, you don't need a lot to make a ancient apparition truly tick. You just need, you know, a little bit of babysitting, and you should be able to make your carry really shine. And that's kind of your goal. Like, your goal is really, unless obviously you're a very skilled player, you're playing mid, your goal is really just to make your carry shine, like, a lot. So yeah, definitely something you can obviously look at doing, but yeah, overall not too bad. We're gonna claim some ward gold, which is nice for us. The Weavers sacrificed himself for the cause. But yeah, overall, we should have this game in a decent position. We can still throw this. You can throw pretty much any Dota game. But ideally speaking, we should be able to handle these kind of situations. We also have a laner axe. We can quite easily push out the lane. We have our good team. Ideally, we should be taking Roche as well. Roshan is always very good. Second life, very useful on units like Juggernaut, but also not too big an issue. So we can see everyone, see what they're doing. We want to try and get down to Juggernaut. Oh. Yeah, we want to get out of this situation because this is not very good for us overall. However, Death Prophet is doing a lot of damage to the Phantom Assassin, so that is obviously something that's quite helpful. Juggernaut's doing well to focus the oh wow, jeez, Juggernaut is fat. Juggernaut very big. Well, yeah, at this point now our carries have just kind of exceeded the enemy teams, and we're not really, we're just in a situation where we can benefit. I want to say it's because of our babysitting early game. It probably isn't. By the way, Enchanted Quiver is a pretty good ability for us, especially since it does combine with our Chilling Touch. So you can take that if you want, but we're going to keep the Essence Ring just because I like what it brings to the table. We're going to go up, and what we're going to do is we're going to ignore our team, because again, we can help our team from quite a long way out. And we are actually going to we misfired quite a lot there. I got a bit happy. I'm going to take this point here because that's going to stop them wrapping around us. It's very, very good. And then now they don't really have a way to kind of wrap around us as a team, cause us issues, etc. So yeah, we do need to be concerned because PA does have a BKB, which is a little bit of a problem. But at the same time, we should be fine. We have a lot of physical damage. The carries are very farmed. And there we go. There we go. Easy, easy peasy. I say easy peasy, but really not that easy and not that peasy. But yeah, decent showing. So very, very solid performance. I wouldn't say we were great, but that's kind of how I am in every game. 211, 26. Lots of assists. Let's look at the scorecard. So we didn't get a lot of items, but we did a good job. You know, lots of support items, along with Rubik, and yeah, just some pretty decent work overall. But that's it for Dota A to Z. Pretty decent display there. Pretty good win.